Hello, my name is Lauren Green, and I am the Director of Business Development with Viking. And today I am going to talk to you about all things Viking river cruising. Viking started about 27 years ago with just four little ships, and those were sailing on the rivers of Russia. And since then, we have grown exponentially. We now travel all over the world. We sail on over 21 rivers throughout Europe, Asia, Egypt. And in 2015, we brought on our ocean fleets that has done incredibly well and our guests absolutely love. And in 2022, we started sailing on the Mississippi River right here in the US, which we will talk about today, as well as our expeditions that sail throughout Antarctica, South America, the Great Lakes, and even the Arctic. The beautiful thing about Viking is that no matter where you sail with us, our philosophy does not waver. We do not try to be everything to everyone. We really focus on mature people who have curious minds. You're interested in history, culture, geography. The destination is the reason that you travel. It's the reason that we all want to see the world and see different places and meet different people and experience different cultures. And so Viking really is the best partner for that. We make sure that the destination is the main focus, no matter where we are in the world. And our crew is our secret sauce. They are really what make us successful and why our guests love to sail on us time and time again. And we have the highest retention rate in the industry, so they stay with us their entire careers. We treat them like family, and in return, they treat you like family. Speaking of being consistent and our philosophy does not waver, we recently were awarded Condé Nast Traveler Reader's Choice Awards for the second year in a row in all three of the products that we have. So our rivers, our oceans, as well as our expedition. And that just really goes to show you that no matter where you sail with us, we are consistent and we will provide the best service that we can provide you. So Viking is a wonderful brand to sail on and a wonderful brand that will allow you to have that consistency all over the world and you know exactly what you're going to get, which is the best of the best. We like to say who we are by what we are not. We do not have any casinos, no children under the age of 18, and we have no formal Knights Butlers or white gloves here at Viking. We do not nickel and dime. We have a highly inclusive value when you sail with us. You have one shore excursion included in every port of call, all of your onboard meals. We have multiple dining venues, wine, beer, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. We also have specialty coffees and teas, bottled water. We have free Wi-Fi, first-class hotels if you're on land with us at any portion. And of course, all your port charges and government taxes are included. So when your AAA travel advisor gives you your price, that is your price. And when you sail with us, specifically on rivers, in Europe, we have the beautiful long ships that sail throughout Europe. We also have Asia and Egypt and the Mississippi, which I will touch on today. And first, I want to start with our long ships because that's normally what you will sail on if you are coming to us for maybe the first or second time and you're sailing on the rivers in Europe. You will be sailing on a Viking long ship. They are all identical. We have over 60 of them throughout Europe. And they are absolutely beautiful. What I love about them most is that they are so open and light and airy. You have floor to ceiling windows, art and literature everywhere that you go. We have open dining in our main restaurant. We have outdoor dining at the Aquavit Terrace with alfresco dining. We have a library on board. It's just a beautiful, warm experience to be on board these ships. When you move into your staterooms, we have multiple categories to choose from. This is really where your AAA travel advisor will come in and they will give you the right recommendation for what your needs are. What we're looking at here is a very normal, I would say most popular veranda stateroom that we have. So this is where you have an actual step out, sit out veranda. And we have some categories that are lower than this, some categories that are higher than this. Just kind of depends what you're looking for. All of our staterooms have heated tile floors, glassed enclosed showers, 110 to 220 plugs, and we have your toiletries available for you as well. Let's talk about the fun things. And the fun things are our amazing river voyage highlights. We sail all over the world on rivers, over 21 rivers throughout Europe. We do the Mekong River, we do the Nile, and we do the Mississippi. But if you are a first-time river cruiser that's joining us today, then you are going to want to possibly sail on one of these three itineraries. We have the Rhine Getaway, which is known for the famous castles along the Rhine. We have the amazing romantic Danube 8-day itinerary, Budapest to Regensburg. You can also go Regensburg to Budapest, and this will include Vienna and Budapest and some amazing places along the Danube River. And if you have the time, You can't decide between the Rhine or the Danube. We want to combine them both, and I highly recommend doing the Grand European Tour. This is our number one rated river itinerary of everything that we do, especially for first time river cruisers, because it includes everything that you would want and things you didn't even know you wanted in a beautiful 2 week experience. And flying all the way over to Europe can be exhausting. And so having just 1 week sometimes really is not enough. So you really want to look at possibly doing the 2 weeks if you have the time to do that. And when we're sailing on the Rhine and the Danube and the Grand European Tour, we have a lot of really amazing places that we will go to. And again, we're destination focused here. And so we begin in Amsterdam on the Rhine River. Amsterdam is also the capital of the Netherlands and one of the most popular tourist destinations in all of Europe. The city is well known for its past, the elaborate canal system, and the architecture of the iconic narrow houses. Its patchwork of waterways forms about 90 islands connected by 1,500 bridges, and it is a delight to explore by foot. Another great way to get a feel for the history and layout of Amsterdam is traveling through the canals of the city by boat, which is a very easy way to do it. And you'll be able to find a variety of different canal tours that will meet your interests. It's also a town of art. There are many famous artists that have come out of Amsterdam, including Rembrandt, Vermeer, Van Gogh. You can see their pieces in some of the museums, such as the Rijksmuseum, the Van Gogh Museum, the Hermitage Museum. If you're a modern art lover, there's the Mako Museum, which is amazing. And of course, for my foodies, I mean, you have endless food options. You will not go hungry. There's local cheeses, Dutch stroopwafels, the amazing teas or coffees that all come together with it. So you will spend your first day in Amsterdam with us. I highly recommend going in a couple days early or staying a couple days late, depending on where you are in your travels, because there is so much to see and do in Amsterdam. You really want the maximum amount of time there that you can get. Another highlight of the Rhine River is Cologne, and this is the largest city on the Rhine with about 1 million inhabitants. The city has a long history as the Romans settled it around 50 AD. And it was almost entirely destroyed by World War II bombings, and then it was rebuilt as a mix of old and new. So there are sections of the old town that remain, and as a whole, Cologne feels very modern, and there's an incredibly diverse mix of things to do when you're in Cologne. Your included excursion in Cologne will take you to the old town, past St. Martin's Church, and visit the Dome, which is this photo that we're seeing here, Germany's largest cathedral, and it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And if you're brave enough, you can join one of our optional excursions on which you ascend the dome to the roof up for an up-close view of the cathedral's architecture, and you get a bird's eye view of Cologne. You'll have plenty of time to explore there as we dock right in the heart of the town. And my number one recommendation is to not get back on the ship unless you go to the Chocolate Museum, because it is absolutely phenomenal. Koblenz is a traditional German city that was founded more than 2,000 years ago. And what I love about Koblenz is it's a perfect example of all of these major cities that you get to go to on river cruising, but also small towns that you probably never really heard of before, or maybe you wasn't really on your bucket list to go see. But then once you go, because the river cruise took you there, it is such an amazing experience, and you're so glad that you got to do that. Koblenz is one of them. It was a former trading settlement that rests on a massif of the Middle Rhine Highlands. And it's got cobblestone streets, wood-beamed houses, flowers, ancient market squares. But you will have an opportunity to choose. Your included excursion will be a historic walking tour of Koblenz. And then there's 2 optional excursions, and I highly, highly recommend taking one of the 2. One of them is Marksburg Castle, which is the only castle that have never been destroyed along the Rhine. So it's an amazing walking back in time of history. And then we also have the incredible Ehrenbreitstein Fortress. And this is where you get to take a gondola ride up to the fortress. It perches way on top of a hill overlooking the Rhine. And there's amazing, colorful guides that take you through there. There's a lot of history with that fortress. So I definitely recommend choosing one of the 2 to be able to go see while you are in Koblenz. And when we are river cruising, you will have typically at least 1 or 2 half days where we will do some scenic sailing. And this is where we'll travel down the Middle Rhine or the Wachau Valley on the Danube. And we will get to see so many different castles and cathedrals and hear about these tales of the Rock of Lorelei or, different experiences as you travel through the Rhine River. And our program director will be talking over the PA system. Everyone is on top of the sun deck, which is our all open air fourth deck at the very top of the ship. And so you can enjoy some coffee, some beer, some wine, whatever you prefer, and get to see scenery on both sides of the ship at all time. Once we are sailing through the Middle Rhine, and you will either continue down the Rhine and go to like Strasbourg, France, maybe end in Basel. If you're on the Grand European tour, you will go from the Rhine through the Main-Danube Canal, and this will take you down the Main River, which will eventually get us into the Danube River. And there are some really amazing small towns throughout the Main-Danube Canal that you can really only see if you take that Grand European tour itinerary. And Nuremberg is actually one of them. And this is the second largest city in Bavaria. Nuremberg is filled with traditional half-timbered houses and Gothic churches with really intricate spires. And although it was nearly destroyed during World War II, the remaining medieval city walls stretch some 3 miles and feature original gateways and 80 original watchtowers. You will be on a tour through Nuremberg's complex past that will be included. And this will have a visit to the ruins of the Nazi parade grounds of the 1930s, Zeppelin Field. And you'll also see the Palace of Justice, the site of the infamous Nuremberg trials. There are also some optional excursions where you can dive deeper into history if you prefer in the Nuremberg area. And now we've traveled into the Danube River, and the Danube is amazing. Regensburg is a small town along the Danube River. It's a wonderfully preserved medieval city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and includes structures that date back to the Roman times. It also escaped major damage during World War II, and the picturesque town of Regensburg is one of Danube's best preserved medieval cities. You will discover the 13th and 14th century patrician houses. You will see the splendid St. Peter's Cathedral, all on our included excursion. And then when you have free time, an insider tip, a local life experience, if you will, is going to see the Old Sausage Kitchen. This is Germany's oldest restaurant that is located here in Regensburg and is exactly what it sounds like. It is an Old Sausage Kitchen, and it's amazing. Passau is one of my favorite cities to sail along the Danube. I have a lot of favorite cities, but this is definitely one of them. And it was founded over 2,000 years ago. It is one of the oldest cities and is known as the City of the Three Rivers. And because it is the confluence of the Inn, the Ilz, and the Danube rivers that all come together. And you can actually see where all three of these rivers converge. The photo on the right is a photo taken from a hill that you can hike to the top with a restaurant above and look down and see where all three rivers come together because all three rivers are different colors. So it's a really fun sight to see. And your included excursion will be a walking tour of Passau. You'll see everything you need to get all of the history. You'll see the beautiful St. Stephen's Cathedral, which is actually home to one of Europe's largest pipe organs. So if you're there at the right time, you might get to hear them practice. And it is an amazing, beautiful, moving experience. You will have, again, on the Danube River, scenic sailing through the Wachau Valley. You'll head to that top sun deck. Your program director will be telling you everything you need to know that you're seeing off both sides of the ship. And it is drawn by stunning scenery. This Wachau Valley, it's about 30 kilometers, which is about 18-mile stretch along the Danube River. And it's known for its ancient towns, historic castles, crumbling ruins, vineyards, fortresses, and so much more. This will take us into Vienna, and in Vienna, you have a panoramic tour of Vienna that will take you through all of the highlights of Vienna, like the Hofburg Palace, Vienna State Opera House, Imperial Palace, the Parliament, the City Hall, the imposing palaces, the Ringstrasse. And then you will also have a lot of free time there. You can decide to take an excursion to go see Schönbrunn Palace if you would like to. We have a beautiful evening experience with a Mozart and Strauss concert. I highly recommend. There's a lot to do and see in Vienna, so spend your time there wisely and see as much as you possibly can. Ending our river along the Danube would be Budapest. And Budapest is one of those cities that is constantly ranked in the various top 10 lists, yet it's really hardly visited by many travelers. And after years of working in the travel industry, I finally got to go to the city and visit it, and it was the most amazing experience. Budapest is a dual city made up of twin cities, Buda on the west side of the river and Pest on the east, and the cities became one in 1873. Buda is considered the more sedate area, and Pesh is the livelier of the city halves. And you will get a panoramic tour of Budapest. We will take you through the Pesh side. You'll get to see the UNESCO World Heritage sites. You will get to see a city that dates back to the Old Stone Age, which you can see Roman, Gothic, Renaissance, Ottoman architecture all throughout Buda Hill, which is what we're looking at right now. This is Buda Hill at Fisherman's Bastion. And there's also really great experiences like thermal baths in Budapest. You can go to the Great Market Hall, the Shoes on the Danube, the Parliament Building. There's a lot to see and do. So it's a beautiful city that you will get to experience on the Danube. We always have possible options to add a pre or a post extension onto your river cruise. So if you are taking a Rhine River cruise that's going from Amsterdam to Basel, then we have experiences where you can stay a couple extra nights in Amsterdam, come in early, stay late. Same with Basel or Lucerne. On the Danube, we have Prague. That's an amazing experience. We have Budapest. We have Nuremberg. So we have a lot of options for you to extend your vacation. And the way it works is you will be in a first-class hotel in that area. We will have a Viking concierge in the hotel with you at all times, so you can ask questions. They can help you get a cab, get reservations, give you recommendations. You'll have a couple walking tours that are included, unless it's a fully guided experience, and maybe a couple meals. And for the most part, we handle your transfers from the ship to the hotel or the hotel to the ship and are with you throughout the whole voyage. So it's definitely the best way to extend your trip and really experience these places on land as well. Everything that I talked about, the Danube, the Rhine, we also have France, those all happen during Christmas markets as well. So if you are a lover of the holidays, then I would recommend taking a look at Christmas markets. These run right around our Thanksgiving time here in the US through Christmas. And it is where every small town and major city dress up for the Christmas markets. They all have their own individual market stalls, their own individual markets. Some are crazy laser light shows. Some are small town 3-4 stalls that the locals are running with locally crafted items. And then you also have blue wine, which is a spiced mulled wine. And every single town does it differently. They have a different recipe. So it's a lot of fun because you get to try their different blue wine as you travel through. Amazing shopping, great food, drinks, people. It is just, if you are a lover of the holidays, it is the best place to be during the holiday season. So definitely ask your AAA travel advisor about that because they can give you some more information. If you are a wine lover, then we have some specific itineraries for wine lovers and also anyone who loves history or wants to try seeing these different areas, but specifically Chateau Rivers and Wine is a great 8-day itinerary round trip Bordeaux, which you are truly sampling every single local wine, infamous wines that is sent throughout the world from the Bordeaux winemaking region. We also have Lyon and Provence, which is our southern France itinerary. If you are a foodie, if you are a wine lover, if you're an art lover, this is a fantastic itinerary, Lyon to Avignon. And then, of course, Portugal, the Douro River, of course, port wine, everything about history and art and food throughout Portugal's River of Gold. The one thing I will say about our Portugal itinerary is it sells out at least 2 years in advance. So you do need to book really early if that's something that you are interested in. And then if you are a history lover and you really want to go because you want to dive deep into history, then we have a couple itineraries. We have our Paris to the Heart of Normandy, which is our round trip Paris itinerary that takes you to a full day at the Normandy beaches. You also will get to experience Giverny and the charming houses and gardens where Claude Monet lived. You'll, of course, get to experience Paris and everything that has to offer. And then Capitals of Eastern Europe is a longer itinerary, 17 days, and you'll discover the important World War II history, visit the world-famous Opera House in Vienna, stroll Budapest's Castle District, but then you're also going to continue down the Danube and go through the Iron Gate. You will see Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, all the way through Bucharest. And then our Elegant L, which is our 10-day cruise tour, so it's part land, part river voyage. And this is where you will see parts of Germany and the Czech Republic, and you will walk in Martin Luther's footsteps as he started the Protestant Reformation. Shifting gears a little bit, we have the amazing Nile River. So we have our Pharaohs and Pyramids itinerary. We have all brand new ships that are sailing the Nile. They are 82 passengers, all identical, all owned and operated by Viking. And what it is, it's a 12-day cruise tour. So you fly into Cairo. You spend the first 2 nights in a hotel with us in Cairo. We take a Viking chartered flight down to Luxor, board our ship in Luxor, sail the Nile, and then continue back into Cairo. It's an amazing experience. You will uncover the ancient secrets of Egypt amid the welcoming culture of today. You'll see the pyramids from astride a majestic camel. You'll experience the Temple of Karnak's 136 soaring pillars. Visit Queen Nefertari's tomb in the Valley of the Kings. So much more. So if you've ever wanted to do Egypt, Viking is the right one for that. And then the Mekong, which is where you'll shop Old Hanoi's markets, see the complex of Angkor Wat, behold the haunting beauty of Ta Prohm Temple, and where jungle vines embrace ancient ruins. It is really a phenomenal experience to get to go to the Mekong River. So our beautiful Viking Saigon ship, again, 80 passengers, sails the Mekong in a 10-day cruise tour. So part land, part river, and you'll get to experience everything that the areas of Thailand and Cambodia have to offer for you. And lastly, I just wanted to mention, if you don't want to go out of the US, you don't want to go to another country or travel far, we have the amazing Mighty Mississippi. Our beautiful Mississippi ship was just released at the end of 2022, 386 passengers, and it is the most modern river ship that you will find on the Mississippi. It has a nice little plunge pool. Our staterooms were modeled after our amazing award-winning ocean staterooms. You have everything from a sliding glass door, French balcony, up to massive suites with verandas. And it was really built specifically for the Mississippi. And so we have a lot of different itineraries that we offer. We have our round trip New Orleans 8 days. We have an 8-day that goes from New Orleans to Memphis, which is one of my favorites. We also have about half the Mississippi, which is New Orleans to St. Louis. And then we also have the northern portion of the Mississippi. So if you are interested in Mark Twain, Lewis and Clark expedition, the origins of farming and how John Deere changed the way that we receive our food as Americans in general. The Red Wing, Minnesota, which is Red Wing shoes that were really infamous during the Civil War. A lot of Civil War history throughout the Mississippi. So you have a lot of opportunities to see different areas of the Mississippi. Or if you want to do the full Mississippi, we of course have that as well. So as our 15-day voyage that will take you from St. Paul all the way down to New Orleans, or we have a 22-day voyage, which goes New Orleans up to St. Paul, and it includes some extra stops like Paducah and Cape Girardeau, some extra stops in Memphis. So a lot of options for you to sail right here in the US. And lastly, we have our amazing AAA member benefits. So if you have ever been thinking about a Viking cruise, make sure you book through AAA because you will receive $100 per person shipboard credit for any cruises that are 8 to 11 days, or a $200 per person shipboard credit for any cruises that are 12 days or longer. So please call your AAA travel advisor today. And if you are interested in a Viking cruise, they can assist you in all pricing and availability. And thank you for joining me today, and we hope to see you on board soon.